Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into how AI is basically creating a whole new kind of leader. We're going to cut through the hype and give you a clear, strategic playbook for what AI can really do. So, let's just start with a really direct question. Right now, today, is your leadership augmented?
Or does your calendar feel a little more like this? A frantic, non-stop game of Tetris where the first thing to get sacrificed in the daily chaos is your time for deep strategic thinking. If you feel like you're constantly buried in the day-to-day, trust me, you're not alone. But the game is changing.
And look, this isn't a small thing. A Harvard Business Review study of 10,000 senior execs found that a staggering 97% believe strategic thinking is the most critical skill for success. You see the gap, right? We all know what's important, but the daily grind just robs us of the time to actually do it.
This brings us to a huge inflection point. And to really understand where we're going, we first got to look at what history teaches us about moments exactly like this. The lesson is always the same. You either adapt or you risk becoming obsolete.
I mean, think about Blockbuster. In the year 2000, they were the undisputed kings. They had a chance to buy a little startup called Netflix for just $50 million. They pretty much laughed him out of the room because they were so focused on their physical stores and their late fees. They completely missed that the future was all about convenience.
Or how about Nokia? At their peak, they had nearly half the entire mobile phone market. Can you imagine? But they saw themselves as a hardware company, just as the world was shifting to software. They underestimated the iPhone, they got comfortable, and their strategy stagnated. It was a failure of leadership, not just product.
And these stories bring us right to the heart of it. We are not talking about using AI for little productivity hacks. The real revolution isn't about writing a better email. It's about using AI to elevate your strategic thinking.
So this leaves every leader today with a really clear choice. You can stay in the old way, the leader as a manager, totally trapped in operational overload. Or you can embrace the new way, become a true thinker, and get strategic clarity by augmenting your own intelligence with an AI partner.
So to build that new partnership, you first have to understand what this technology really is. So let's demystify AI and actually look at how it works. At its core, artificial intelligence is really just technology that lets machines do tasks that usually need human intelligence. Think of it as a tool made to augment our potential, not to replace us. It's about making us better at learning, solving problems, and making decisions.
The best way I've found to understand the different layers of AI is to picture a set of Russian dolls. So the biggest, outermost doll, that's artificial intelligence itself. That's the whole broad concept of machines that can mimic human smarts.
Okay, nestling inside that first doll, you've got machine learning, or ML. This is where the system uses massive amounts of data to recognize patterns and train itself. You know that recommendation engine on Netflix that just knows what you want to watch next? That's a perfect example of machine learning.
Go a layer deeper, and you find deep learning. This is a more advanced kind of machine learning that uses neural networks. They're actually modeled after the connections in our own brains. This lets it process way more complex stuff, like images and audio. That Face ID on your phone that recognizes you in a split second, that's deep learning.
And right there at the very center, the smallest doll, we find large language models, or LLMs. This is the technology that powers tools like ChatGPT. And this is the breakthrough that gives you, as a leader, a true thinking partner.
So how does this thinking partner actually work? Well, it's a simple but really powerful loop. You give it an input, a question, some context, the AI processes it, it gives you an output, a response, a solution, and here's the magic part. It learns from your feedback, so it gets smarter and more helpful every single time.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's put this into practice. This next part is all about creating your very first eureka moment. That instant where AI gives you a real, tangible, and maybe even unexpected insight.
This is what we call a light bulb moment. It's when AI can just transform a familiar problem. So get this, a leader was stuck for months on a personnel decision, just agonizing over it. They laid out the whole situation to an AI, and it came back with a simple but powerful question. It asked, "It seems you know what you need to do. What are you afraid of?" That single question broke the logjam. The decision was made in 5 minutes.
You can have this exact kind of moment right now. Think of a problem you're wrestling with this week. Open an AI tool and just use a simple prompt like this one.
Frame it as your thinking partner, give it the context, and just ask it to help you think through solutions. This is your first real step.
That first eureka moment, that's just the beginning. The real goal is to turn that initial flash of insight into a sustainable, strategic advantage. This is the journey to mastery.
And that journey, it has really predictable stages. You'll start with that eureka moment, that feeling of, wow, this is incredible. But then, very quickly, you're probably going to hit the reality check. This is the point where you try something else and the results are, well, they're not great. And you're going to think, this is actually harder than I thought.
Hitting that reality check is completely normal. It's not a sign the AI is failing. It's a sign that you just need to get better at communicating with it. The key is to be patient with yourself. Focus on learning how to ask better questions, how to write better prompts, celebrate the small wins, and just, commit to the process. Just keep swimming.
Because as you do this, your role evolves in a really profound way. You don't stop being the thought leader, but instead of doing all the thinking yourself, you're now guiding the thinking, and you're augmented by an incredibly powerful AI thought partner. Your role is elevated, not replaced.
And this brings us to the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. This is the one fundamental shift in mindset that will unlock your full potential as an augmented leader.
You have to stop asking, how can I solve this problem? And you need to start asking, how can AI help me solve this problem? This simple change in your default question, that is what separates a traditional manager from a truly augmented leader who's ready to shape the future.